everybody, my name is Steven. I'm Protocol Cosplay, and today I'm giving you the first of probably a couple of different videos about my new programming system called Shadow RC V2 for your R2 astromech droids. Let's get into it.
Wait! Oh my! What have you done?
Okay, so let's start with what is Shadow RC V2? Well, Shadow RC V2 is basically a whole new control system that replaces some old, outdated electronics and makes him a much more capable droid when he has a better computer basically in him. The biggest thing that we've done is that I have replaced the old Arduino Mega, which was kind of the standard for a lot of control systems like Shadow and Padawan 360. I've replaced that with a Teensy 4.1, and I've also replaced the SparkFun MP3 player, or really any MP3 player that you get to use with Shadow or Padawan 360. And I've replaced that with the Teensy Audio Shield, which sits on top of this. It's in my droid right now, so I don't have it, but it sits on top of the Teensy. So basically, this is the footprint. This entire piece right here is the entire brain and speech center for an R2 system with Shadow and Shadow RC. And then what's the RC part? Well, the RC part are these guys. These are small 6-channel RC controllers. They go to receivers, which plug into this board. It actually plugs in along these green rails here. And I'll do a more in-depth video about the board itself in a little bit. This is just a prototype. It's changed since I've made this. Some things have been adjusted, but in essence, this is the board. But these RC controllers hook up to their receivers and then plug into the Teensy. The reason I did this was because Bluetooth and other connections that are based around a Bluetooth signal are not very reliable, especially in a con environment. If you get too far away from your droid, or if it just decides to have a brain fart, you can lose connection to your droid. I've seen also cases in which the droid loses connection and then it runs away, right? It doesn't stop moving or something like that. And it might just be for a brief time before it realizes that it doesn't have its connection anymore, but that little bit of runaway is not something that you would want. So RC controllers are much more robust. They're much more of a solid connection to a droid, and a lot of people use them. But a lot of people use the regular old big beefy, almost like a remote control airplane controllers, and they're big and they're beefy and they're fun and they're useful, but they don't really hide very well. That's why I chose these. These are the official controllers that I'm supporting. I'm not really supporting any other controller because I don't know what on your controllers are, like a toggle switch or a momentary button or something like that. I know what these are, so that's why I designed the system around it. But these are basically just RC controllers. They're 6-channel. That does enough. I wish there was a couple of more channels on these, but it's fine. 6 is fine for each side. That's 12 channels total. And on your right side, in your right hand, your A channels, that controls all the driving modes. It also, right now, controls certain speech centers. I may swap that depending on how it goes, but we'll see. And then on the left side, on the B side, you have all of your dome control, like so. And as you can see, the dome is super responsive now. And the reason that it's so responsive is because the Teensy just has so much better of time controlling the PWM signals and understanding them and passing them along to the appropriate parts of the code, that it just can respond so quickly. I mean, this is as fast as Bluetooth, I would say. It's nearly instantaneous. And I'm dialing in the settings just to get it perfect, but it's nearly instantaneous in terms of a response, and you can nudge it and stuff like that. And the problem with the old system, the version 1, was when I would nudge it like that, it would kind of drift and would kind of keep going. So for right now, it's working very well. A couple of adjustments of little things need to be done, but ultimately it's ready to go. And then, like I said, you have MP3 playback. So on this side, on these buttons, you have, on the upper button, you have happy sounds. On the middle left button, you have talking sounds. Middle right is yelling sounds, and the bottom is sad sounds. On the other controller, you have things like classic music. You have singing music, singing music on the middle left. That's where R2 kind of sings his own song. Bottom is dancing music, so this is music that people have put together with some R2 sounds to make it sound like he's playing that music. And then on the middle right, you have some classic lines like Leia.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
So there you go. But obviously, the other ones work too. So you've got your whole range of sounds easily accessible in any mode. You can press them as many times as you want, and it'll play directly out of this board. This board has, when I put the audio shield on it, it has a 3.5mm jack to go directly into your amplifier so that you can play. No more parsing through a SparkFun player and trying to get that to work. It really is much better. And in fact, the way I set this up was I set it up by folder. So as long as you set up the folders correctly on your SD card, you can drop any file into that folder, and it'll treat it like it's part of that category. So if you throw in another random yelling sound that you find, you don't need to rename it, you don't need to do anything with it. It'll get into the rotation of random sounds just by being in that folder. So that's one great thing. The SparkFun was murder to try to get working correctly. You had to order them correctly. You had to make sure that they were all the right numbering and all this stuff. You could only have 255 actual sounds and stuff like that. So a lot of upgrades when it comes to going to the Teensy Audio Shield and the Teensy Audio Library specifically for programming. So that's his main mode. Now this is what we call manual mode. Manual mode is everything that he does. Everything he does is manual, right? So he's not going to automatically move or talk or anything like that. It's a full puppet mode, and this is the mode that he shows up in normally. This is the first mode that he boots up into. And then you have on these controllers what we call combos. Combos are really fun, and they add a lot of complexity to the system and allow you to do a lot more than just move his dome and say random MP3s. You can do a lot of great things with combos. Now, in the original version, I had combos, but I didn't really do much with them. The only combo that I really did something was the mode switching, which is still present here on this version 2. Mode switching is done by pulling your left-hand joystick down, because the left-hand joystick doesn't actually do anything when it's pushed up and down, right? You can see I'm pushing it up, pushing it down. The dome's not moving. The dome only responds to left and right? So these, the up and down direction are available to use for combos. Obviously, the combos aren't available in manual mode for this side, because if I pull this down, he's going to move backward, and if I push it up, he's going to move forward, or left and right. So the only two, I'm calling combo layers are available in manual mode are combo layer 0, because it always starts at 0, and 1. 0, combo layer 0, is always reserved for mode switching. Mode switching is, there's a couple of different modes which I'll go into about how R2 can operate. We've got manual mode, hybrid mode, automated mode, and carpet mode. And I'll go into those. But mode switching is always you pull this one down and you hit a corresponding button on the other side controller, right? This is how you do any combo. If I were to push this up and hit a combo, it's always push in a direction, a cardinal direction on a joystick and hit the other side buttons, right? So if I want to move him into manual mode, which eventually we will have some sound effects to let you know that you're in manual mode, I just haven't recorded them yet. When you go into hybrid mode, again, there will be a sound, but when you go into hybrid mode, the mode switching is basically another cardinal direction, right? Up is manual mode, left is hybrid mode, down is automated mode, and right is carpet mode. So if I want to go into hybrid mode, which will automatically play MP3s randomly for a certain like interval of time, but it'll also move the dome. So let me just make sure that the dome is centered. You have to make sure that the dome is centered when you go into this mode if you want to benefit from the dome automatic moves that it goes into. But hybrid mode is a really fun mode. So let me go into hybrid mode. And we'll just wait and see if he plays a sound, and that'll tell us that we're in that mode. Or he'll move. There you go. So you see that little head movement? That is hybrid mode doing its thing. I'm going to turn it down a bit so we can talk. But as you can see, he's playing sounds and he is moving his dome. And what that means is that hybrid mode is doing what it's supposed to do. Hybrid mode is meant to move the dome back and forth, but also play random MP3s. And this means that you can concentrate on driving. Driving is kind of difficult when you're like, oh, I want to move his dome back and forth, or I want to play some sounds and whatnot, but you're concentrating on driving. You're like trying to get him through a crowd or something like that. Well, what hybrid mode does is that it automates the dome for you, and it plays MP3s, and then you can move him. You can move him back and forth and all around, and he'll keep doing all of that automated logic himself without you needing to do anything. Now, obviously, you can take over and play MP3s, but the thing about hybrid mode is that you don't actually use the dome. If I start moving the joystick left and right for his dome, you can see his dome is not moving anymore. And the reason that it's not moving is because now that the dome is automated, we have the ability to add more combos. So now, instead of just having a combo layer going down and up, we now have a combo layer going left and right. So that means that we have 4 combos for every layer. So that's 4 combos up, 4 combos left, 4 combos right, and so on. Now, obviously, again, we're not going to be using this joystick for combos because if I push it, he's going to move. But hybrid mode is a great mode if you just want to concentrate on driving him and he has a little bit of life in him and he speaks and he's energetic and he makes these little automated moves. So I really like that mode. But the next mode that you would go into is almost identical to this mode. It's called automated mode. But in this mode, you actually can't drive the droid. So let me just, let me get him into manual mode real quick. And almost center his dome again. And now we're gonna go into automated mode, which is pull down and push the lower button. Now we're in automated mode, and he'll keep doing the same things that he does normally, which is he'll play some sounds, which he just did, and he should move his dome, which he does. But as you can see now, when I'm in automated mode, I can't push him around. This automated mode is for when he's sitting still. When he's sitting still and not doing anything, and you don't want to accidentally move him around, you go into automated mode. He'll be lively, he'll be alive, he'll look like he's an active droid, but you can't push him forward or do anything like that. Hi, how's it going? But this also opens up more combos, right? So now I can do combos here. I can pull this down and hit a button over there, and if I had a combo thing selected for this, that's what that combo would do. So now, instead of just the combos on this side, we have the combos on this side too. So if you really want to show off and you have all sorts of combo things and servos and stuff like that, and you want to have all the time in the world to do that, you would probably put them in automated mode so that you can get access to 16 more combos on this side and 16 combos on this side. We're going to go into combos in a little bit, but the basic premise of the combo is that it can play any MP3 you want, a specific MP3. If you want it to be like, I want to do this and make him dance, great, he'll do that. You can set the dance track to that combo, and then you will be able to set Maestro commands. Every combo that's not a mode switch doesn't do this, but every combo sends out a specific Maestro command. So I don't have Maestros in my droid right now, but if you have Maestros, the Maestro command will come to either one or two of the boards. If you have a board in your body, or if you have a board in your dome, or if you have two boards, one for the dome, one for the body, you will have the ability to send Maestro commands to those individual boards, or both. If you want to have them be all the way, if you want to have them be all connected and you want to do a combined animation, so to speak, you can send a command to both boards and they'll start working simultaneously. The way you do this is the actual software is just sending the command, like a script number, out to the Maestro boards. So if you want to have your Maestro boards do something, you have to set up that script, and you have to make sure that you set up the right script number. So for instance, if combo 4, which is up and this, that's combo 4. If combo 4 had a Maestro board in the dome, and I set up my first dome animation, because combo 4 sends out a Maestro animation, or I don't know what you want to call it. I call them animations, but it could be a script or something like that. But basically it sends out dome script or animation 1, right? Then in the actual Maestro board, you will set up your dome script 1 to perform a certain action. Then when you hit this combo, boom, it starts doing that action. Because the Teensy, the actual main board, is sending out that message to your Maestro board to play or run that script. So all the combos have that. Apart from 0 to 3, which is combos, the first 4 combos, those are used for mode switching. Every other combo, and there are 32 of them, every other combo can do the Maestro commands and can play a specific MP3 if you wanted to. Again, if you want a specific track, or if you want a specific music track, or if you want a specific yell or whatever, you can do that. So this is really fun. I think it's going to be great for people who have Maestro boards, who want to get some little extra fun out of their controllers. But that is the basics of Shadow RC. And again, if we move into carpet mode, I'll just show you. It works the same as manual mode, but now he was almost getting away from me there. He moves a lot faster. And the reason he moves a lot faster is just so you can get over carpet. I'm fine-tuning those speeds, and everybody's motor is a little bit different. You can always go in and adjust your speeds specific for your needs. But yeah, carpet mode is basically just manual mode. with some extra speed, some oomph, so you can get over carpets. But that is basically the breakdown of Shadow RC. It works almost exactly like the version 1, but instead of version 1 being kind of laggy and sloppy and not really very useful, apart from just moving him around and making his dome move, this new version brings in a whole new level for R2. He moves much more efficiently, as you can see. He has so much more fine-tuning of the drive controls. He has a bank of MP3 that I will provide. I've actually curated a bunch of lists that I thought sounded the best and weren't kind of muddy and gross audio and stuff like that. He has a curated list of audio tracks. He has Maestro support. If you have Maestros, you're good to go and ready to go. He's got a lot of customizable features. He's got automated toe movements. He's got automated MP3 movements. And this is a dumb motor, by the way. This is just a regular old motor. It doesn't have an encoder on it or anything like that. I'm working on that though. There will be a hardware upgrade, a drop-in hardware upgrade that you can put a motor that has an encoder on it, likely a Pololu style motor that actually has an encoder built into it, and get a new, the Siren doesn't really do encoder stuff very well. Even the Kangaroo doesn't do very well, just so you know. But I've got another one in my site. It's called the RoboClaw Solo. That one I think will be a little bit better for this purpose. But if you upgrade to the RoboClaw Solo and you upgrade to the Pololu encoder motor, boom, you've got encoder support inside your dome, ready to go, so you can make super accurate moves rather than just these timing moves, which basically just says move the dome for half a second. Okay, done. So timing is not great. It might drift over time, but encoder is great, and that is coming. The other thing that is coming is that a lot of people are going to be getting onto the hub motors. The hub motors are the new Mark IV Mr. Badley drive system, right? And it doesn't use the Sabertooth. But this board, Shadow RC, has all the pins you need to get that done. ESCs just need a PWM signal coming out of, well, I guess because you have two lines, one going to one ESC and one going to another, and a ground line. That's all I need. Now the ground could be Y split out, but it's fine. But as long as you have two pins that can produce a PWM signal for the ESC, you'll be fine. Which means, and that's the other thing that's really great about the Teensy, there's an expansion slot on this side, and that expansion slot is designed to have exactly this happen, meaning that it will create the PWM signal that the ESC wants to see and make your drive work. Now, the Teensy is also going to be handling the mixing of those signals, right? So it's going to be handling how tank mixing moves, or differential steering, or how fast to move both motors if you're just moving them at the same time, and when to make that difference from tank mixing to differential steering to blah, 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 blah. It's going to do all that. It's not here yet because I don't have hub motors to test, but once I do, it'll be implemented pretty quickly. And all you'll have to do is flash just a new patch. Just flash a new patch, a new hex code is what they call it, that I'll provide. Flash that onto your thing, and boom, you've got hub motor support. So the really cool thing about Shadow RC is that it's upgradable, it's super fast, it's super accurate, it seems to have no bugs. I've been testing this R2 for a long time now, and I don't have any bugs. I don't have any kind of weird, like, ooh, that was weird, it shouldn't be doing that kind of things. So it's really exciting to get this out. So now, after all of that, what can you do? Well, we're doing a run of these boards. The run is open to interest, like I have a form down in the description, fill out the form if you're interested in getting a pre-built version of these boards. The pre-built version of the board will basically just allow you to plug and play this. Plug in your RC controllers, plug in your your signal lines to wherever you're going. Right now it's just Sabertooth and Siren, but again, hub motors and more functionality is coming. Plug in your stuff, plug in, give it power, and you're good to go. And what that means is that you're gonna have a much better time just plugging this in. Remove that old Arduino, remove that SparkFun, and just throw this in there. Plug it in as you normally would, and you're good to go. And the other cool part about this, and something I'll go into detail on the actual board side, is that this is going to be upgraded one more time with support for XB controllers. I'm actually working on an XB controller setup right now that will basically take these, make them way smaller, way more accurate, more buttons, more functionality, but it'll be based on the XB style receiver, which puts even these to shame. These are great, and they're RC, and they're stable, and they're awesome. But XB modules, whew, it's like having a little computer in the palm of your hand. It's great. And they talk to each other over vast distances. It's amazing. I don't think you'll ever get that far away from your droid, but that's coming too. And this board is set up to receive that. All you'll have to do is plug in the receiver and go. Flash the firmware, obviously, but plug in the receiver, boom, you're done. So that's Shadow RC. If you want to get in on the run, it's a very limited run, but if you want to get in on the run, we will be sending out fully complete, soldered, and tested boards to the people during the run. Again, the form is in the description. Please fill it out so I know if you're interested. And when we get the right number of people for the run, we'll begin the run. And it shouldn't be more than a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks tops, depending on shipping and all that kind of stuff, blah, 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 that you'll have one of these boards in your hand. And then you can throw it into your R2 and have, just the most amazing time driving them around and feeling confident about your piloting skills. So I hope you enjoyed this very long video. I hope it was informative. I hope that you want to get in on the run. And I can't wait to get this into as many hands as possible. So thank you, everybody. My name's Steven. Again, I'm Protocol Cosplay, and this has been Shadow RC V2. Go get yours today, and I can't wait to see what you guys do with it. Thanks again. See you later.